Chat. Good night. Hi guys, Mr. McCabe here. Welcome to this class. We have a theme for this class, which is repetition. In any physical movement, physical exercise, physical activity, repetition is your best friend. But human nature is that we can be a bit lazy and we can be a bit unmotivated. So actually repeating the movement, doing it again and again and again, can take a little bit of discipline, and you have to motivate yourself in order to do this. But the benefits of repetition are vast, huge. So in this class, aimed at our junior Taekwondo grades from roughly white to green stripe, although any Taekwondo student can take part, we're going to talk about the ways to build up a repetition schedule, the way to apply it to the techniques that you are learning, for example, in a new pattern or a new sparring drill. And we're going to talk about the phases of every movement and how you can maximize your power through the practice of repetition, through the idea that you must do it again and again and again. So let's get going. So guys, let's go through the 4 phases of every technique. You may be familiar with the theory of power, which we break down into 6 sections, and we remember it with the acronym Mr. MEX. Okay, this is mass, reaction, breath control, equilibrium, concentration, and speed. Okay, so these are the elements. We move our mass, we use our reaction force, breath control, we have equilibrium, which means balance, and also the techniques, the limbs move together equally. We concentrate the force into a small part of the body, and we also concentrate the mind and focus on what we're doing. And then the speed of the movement gives us power too. But how do we apply these elements? Okay, so if you're a white belt or if you're a black belt, just pay attention for this little bit of theory, and then we'll do the practice after. So I want you to imagine a new acronym, RAAC, R-A-A-C. Okay, R-A-A-C. The R is relaxation. Okay, before we get moving, we relax. I like to use the analogy of throwing a ball. If you picked up a ball, before you throw it, you kind of relax. You're getting ready to throw it. You don't sort of rigidly and stiffly throw a ball. Here you're really quite floppy at the beginning. A punch would be the same. You relax and then you punch. Okay, so the relaxation part or the floppy part of the movement is first. Then we have the accumulation. This means you're building up the power. Again, let's think about punch. Okay, we relax, we build up the power before we accelerate. Okay, acceleration is the next section. Okay, so we see we've got relax, go floppy, accumulate, build up the power, accelerate into the movement. That's how we get the speed. And the last one, concentration, bringing it all together. So we said earlier down here, concentration means concentrating the force onto a small surface area, whether it's a knife hand or the ball of your foot. It also means mentally concentrating, and it also means this last phase of our sequence in the movement to bring everything together so that at the end of the movement your body is rigid, your core muscles are tensed, you've breathed out, you've landed in a good stance, your reaction hand's in the right place, your technique finishes, it comes together. And when you can bring everything together in that final moment, wow, the power really goes up. It's amazing. It's amazing. So we're going to put this into practice now. Rack, relax, go floppy, accumulate, build up the movement, accelerate into the movement, that's how we get our speed, and then concentrating the movement, bringing all the elements together at the end. So we're going to do a few techniques now so we can practice and you'll see what we mean. So let's start with a rising block. This is going to be the first technique we practice. 4 phases. Remember, relax, accumulate, which means build up the movement, accelerate into the movement, that means gain speed, and then concentrate, bring it all together at the end. So if we take a rising block, this is going to be our finishing position, walking stance, full facing, the fist a little bit higher than the elbow, the reaction hand pulled to the hip. If I just turn sideways, you can see that the arm is in front of my head and higher than my head. It's not above my head here, directly above, slightly in front, okay? And we have this angle on the arm too. So in order to block upwards, okay, rising, it's called a rising block. Rising means it's going up, but it's going up higher than my head, okay? There's a different movement which is an upward movement, and upward means it's coming up in front of your body, okay? Usually around the sort of chest height here, whereas rising is going up and above the head. So for a rising block, we have our Chumbi position. Now think about Chumbi. My legs are straight, my body's strong. If we're doing it really properly, you should squeeze your legs, you should squeeze your bum muscles, you should squeeze your abs, you should have your arms here. Okay, it's actually quite a strong movement, even though we're standing still. So from this strong movement, I need to go into a relaxed phase. Remember the acronym RAAC, R-A-A-C, relax is first. So relax, my body just drops slightly. Relax, my arms are relaxed, my legs are relaxed. Everything's gone a little bit floppy. I'm going to move this leg, so I'm transferring my weight onto this leg, and now my foot's kind of floating, okay, it's ready to step. So that's the relax phase. Then accumulate, so I need to build up my energy. In order to block up, I need to bring my arm down first, comes down. My other arm is my reaction hand, they come together, okay? So relax, build up the movement. As my arms build up, my body is starting to move forwards. I'm starting to spring forwards with my stationary leg. Relax. Then I need to accelerate, so I need to go and put the effort into the movement. And then the last phase, concentrate, accelerate and concentrate. They happen almost at the same time. It's accelerate then concentrate, very fast. And concentrate means I've got to land on the floor in a good stance. I've got to have reaction and action and breath control and tension through my body. I've got to squeeze all my muscles to go really rigid again. And if you get really rigid at the end, your body even might sort of slightly vibrate. Okay? So 4 phases: relax, accelerate, no, accumulate. Relax, accumulate, accelerate, concentrate. And that last section, that last one, concentrate, is when we want to go really rigid. Okay? Other side, other hand. Ready? Relax. Build it up. Accumulate. Now go. Accelerate. Concentrate. Okay? If you don't concentrate at the end, if you don't concentrate everything together and think about bringing it all together, then although your movement's fast, it might end up being a bit floppy, like this. Okay, lots of times I see in classes that this happens, and the reaction hand kind of swings around. What's good about that is that you can be relaxed. It means that you know how to relax your arms, but we need to have the opposite of relax and concentrate, okay? So let's do 10 of these, okay? 4 phases each time. Relax, accumulate, accelerate, concentrate. Right, starting with this side. Ready? Hana. And return. Other hand. Tum. And return. Set. And return. Let. And return. Tasat. And return. Yasat. Come back. Ilga. Come back. Doro. Come back. A hop. Come back. Yo. Come back. Good. Now remember, our theme is repetition. 10 times is not enough. I read once in a paper about physical movement, it was like a sports science kind of paper, that it takes maybe 10,000 repetitions before you program your body so that you can do it without thinking. I think also that a few hundred times makes you pretty good. 10 times not enough. If you're juniors or lower grades, 10 times no. Remember that when you join Taekwondo as a white belt, you train for at least 3 months before you do a grading. And sometimes that's even not enough. Sometimes it's maybe 6 months, because if you train maybe for an hour a week or 2 hours a week, there's only a certain number of repetitions that we can achieve in that hour or those 2 hours. So that's why we have these criteria, these things you have to achieve before we would invite you to take your grading, because it's all about repetition, 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 repetition. Okay, it's not good enough that I've been a yellow belt for 12 months. Well, okay, but how many repetitions have you done? Do you know knife and guarding block? Can you do it so well that you haven't really got to think about it? This is why we have these repetitions. This is why I say repetition is your best friend. So we're going to move on to a plan to give you something to aim for the next week or two so that you can perfect some techniques. I'm going to show you that plan now. So here's a plan. It's just one possible plan. There are maybe other ways to do it. Here's a plan that I've written out that could help you to practice all the new techniques, particularly the new techniques that you are learning, but we should apply this to all techniques. I've been doing Taekwondo for nearly 30 years, and sometimes I train with my instructor and we'll do a pattern that maybe I haven't done for a while, and maybe I've not done a U-shaped block very many times recently. Maybe I've not done a circular block. Maybe I've not done a side kick too many times recently, although I've done them hundreds of times in my life. If I've not done a side kick for a couple of months, or a wedging block for a couple of months, then your body forgets. It's not as good as it could be. So here's a plan, and I'd like you to use this plan for the next week or two. So you're going to do a set. A set means a number of repetitions. I'm going to suggest it's 10. And the movement will be slow and deliberate. So let's pretend that we are yellow belts and we're learning knife hand guarding block. So we make the stance and we just go through the movement 10 times. 1. No power, just making sure that your body knows how the movement works. Okay, if I do it at this angle, okay, here, arms ready, here. Okay, so just slow and deliberate. The start position is correct, the movement is correct, the trajectory, this means the line of attack, okay, here, and the finishing position is correct. Okay, so 10 of those, slow and deliberate, on each side, of course. We then do the other side, okay. Then, second set, again I've suggested another 10, this time a bit quicker, but relaxed. So we're not giving it the most possible effort yet, okay. So maybe we're here, and maybe just there. The body's nice and relaxed. Maybe we start stepping into it. Like this, okay? So, phase 1, set 1, slow and deliberate, learning the movement. Reminding your body how the movement works. Set 2, bit quicker, bit more effort, but still quite relaxed. Set number 3, again I've suggested another 10. This time, more precise, more effort. Okay, so when I say more precise, I guess I'm really talking about that kind of concentration element at the end where it finishes deliberately. So let's pretend that we are green stripes learning straight spear fingertip thrust. So we've done our 10 slow and deliberate ones. We've done some relaxed ones, and now a bit more precise, a bit more effort. Making each element come together. And then you do your fourth set, where we try and apply the relaxation, the accumulation, the acceleration, the concentration with maximum effort. Okay? So, slow and deliberate, teach your body, teach yourself how the movement works. Quicker and more relaxed. Bit of speed, not the most amazing technique you've ever done, but still, you know, you're improving from here. Third set, right, now you're awake. Now your muscles know what's going on. More precise, more effort, more speed. And then the fourth set, let's use the rack, the relaxation, the accumulation, the acceleration, and the concentration to make the technique finish perfectly. Let's try that with a few techniques now. So guys, we've gone through the plan, and we're going to try and apply it now to some of our techniques. Now, this class, you can repeat this class many times this week. And I suggest that you pick 1 or 2 techniques, and then maybe on a different day when the class is not on or you're doing something else, pick a different technique. And then on a different day, pick a different technique, okay? This video you can watch many, many times. Do you know your fundamentals? Do you know what they are? This is what I mean by fundamentals. I mean the movements that are new to your grade, the ones that you need to learn and perfect before we could invite you to grade and promote to a new belt. Those fundamental videos are on our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, look at Cardiff Martial Arts, and look at the fundamentals videos. Okay, look at your grade. For example, you might be a yellow belt, so you look for the 8th cup yellow belt fundamentals. In that video, I explain all the fundamentals for that grade, show you how they work. Then you take that information and you apply this training regime, these sets. So what the first set was slow and deliberate. Okay, so let's pretend I'm going to pretend to be a yellow belt. You can do whichever technique you like right now. If you're a white belt, maybe you could do a punch. If you're a purple stripe, maybe you can do a rising block. If you're a orange stripe, maybe a middle block. If you're a yellow stripe, maybe the lower block and rising block. If you're a yellow belt, maybe knife hand strike, and so on, okay? I'm going to pretend to be a yellow belt, and I'm going to choose the knife hand strike. So, I'm going to do it side to side. So the first one, just there, slow and deliberate. Then I'm going to come back, other side. Slow and deliberate, okay? Making sure I chamber in the right place, inside. Swinging the arms together. Finishing the technique, coming back, L stance. Finishing the technique. Become familiar with the movement. Finishing the technique. Become familiar with the movement. Finishing the technique. And again, finishing the technique. Okay, get the idea. Now, set 2 was still relaxed, a bit more speed, but quicker. Okay, so we're just we're starting to bring life to the technique without giving it absolutely maximum effort yet. So. Get the idea? Okay. Then, third set, bit more effort now, really precise, and in particular at the end, tense up, so that you're not completely floppy at the end, tense the body up, okay? So. Okay, and then phase 4, right now my body's warm. I can feel my chest has been working from the swinging of the arms. I can feel my shoulders have been working. My reaction hand is awake. My knife hand is awake. So now let's up our energy and let's try and have the relax phase, accumulate phase, accelerate phase, concentrate phase, and these set now should be the best. Okay, ready? With me. Go. Good, well done. How about a different technique? So let's try something different. How about low block and rising block? Low block and rising block is a good one for us all to do. Okay, so if you're white belt, black belt, whatever, low block and rising block is a good combination to practice because we have to be able to do 2 techniques on the spot and we have to have our knee spring for that second technique, okay? So let's go through the way that we suggested we did our sets. The first set was slow and deliberate, okay? So I'm going to be at a slight angle for this one because I want you to be able to see my back leg each time, okay? So slow and deliberate, so right and low block, 1, relax, rising block, 2, okay? I'm just going to do a few on one side so that you can see my back leg each occasion. So here we go. Slow and deliberate, slow and deliberate. Okay, you're training your body to deliver the technique correctly. Relaxed, this is my down phase, come up, this is my build up phase, my accumulation, there's my concentration and my acceleration. Good. Slow and deliberate, slow and deliberate, slow and deliberate, slow and deliberate. Slow and deliberate, slow and deliberate. Okay, good. Then we move on to our quicker, bit more speed, but still quite relaxed. Okay, I'm just going to do it at the opposite angle just to be different. Okay, so we might do it like this. Good. And again. Good. So I'm not doing the technique wrong. I'm just probably not giving it 100% effort at the moment. I'm just getting my body moving, using the muscles. Go. And again. Okay, get the idea? Then set 3, more precise, more effort. Okay, commit yourself to it each time. And then set 4, relax, accelerate, accumulate, sorry, other way around, relax, accumulate, accelerate, concentrate, make it the best. Here we go. Notice how my breath has changed. In order to get a bit more effort and speed in my body, I breathe slightly more aggressively. Okay, so if this is the first time that you've watched this video and follow along with me with the techniques I've done, fine. If it's the second time or the third time, because it's all about repetition, just pick different techniques, maybe between forearm block, maybe wedging block, something that's applicable to your grade, and do exactly the same. Slow and deliberate first, quicker and more relaxed second, then more effort, more precision, and then the fourth phase is right, let's do it properly now. Your body's awake, your muscles know that they need to be used, really go for it. So guys, quick refresh, relaxation, floppy, accumulation, build up the power. You can't punch forwards until you build it up backwards. You can't block up until you come down and build it up. Okay, you get the idea. Accelerate, okay, so really swing the arm, really push the leg out, and concentrate, bring all those elements together. Now, obviously at the moment, we are doing lots of this online teaching because of the situation we're in, but we'd love to see what you're doing. So by all means, take some videos and send them to your instructor. I'm sure your instructor won't mind just giving you a few pointers. In fact, we want to do that. We want to have that contact with you. So by all means, show us doing Chonji or 3-step sparring or front snap kick or rising block. Send it to us on email or on the Facebook page, whatever, and we can definitely give you some feedback. We'd love to do that. For the time being, make sure you repeat, repeat, repeat. Repetition is your best friend. The only way you get good is by doing it many, many times. 10 times, not enough. 20 times, not enough. A few hundred times, okay. Now we're getting better, and eventually you'll have done it thousands of times, and then your body will be trained and you'll know what to do. Having said that, like I said earlier, 30 years nearly I've been training in Taekwondo, and when I haven't practiced a particular technique for a few weeks, it becomes not as good. Okay, it only stays good when I'm practicing it many, many times. So sometimes your rising block will be excellent. If you don't practice your rising block for a few weeks, it won't be so good. So we need to make sure we repeat, 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 repeat. It does take a bit of discipline. It does need some motivation. Perhaps you could get yourself a plan, get a piece of paper, write down the name of the technique and tick off when you've done it 10 times, 10 times, 10 times. And within a week or two, that technique will be looking really good. For now, it's time to go. Charit, good day. Thank you very much. Hey Sam.